Goal setting can feel incredibly overwhelming and suffocating to creatives. For many people, they are very task oriented, but there are other creatives and other people who are very idea motivated. So, today, before you take off running on all of those ideas and start hustling, let's sit down and craft a vision that feels a lot like coming home. Hello, friend and fellow adventurer. Welcome back to the channel. I am so excited that you are here. I think today is going to be a really good video, and I hope that you will feel the same way. If you're new around these parts, my name is Kayla. I am a multi-passionate creative doing all the things. My personality is like Skyrim meets Howl's Moving Castle. The aesthetic around here is organized-ish chaos. I like to say that I go first so that you don't have to. I don't mind fumbling in front of you. That way you feel a little bit more confident about taking your first steps. We are in a series where we are diving into my Sidequester strategy guide. This is a flexible framework that I created for myself, but I am sharing with other cozy creatives and multi-passionates and hobbyists. It is a flexible framework that is designed to help you move your ideas from thought into action. This is an anti-hustle approach to time management and organization. It acts as a tool to help you visualize your creative process. It is entirely retrofittable, so you take what you want, what's going to help you, what resonates with you, and you leave the rest. None of this is new information, and it is not a get rich quick or go viral overnight scheme. This is just a new way of organizing really great information that tends to work for A-type personalities and retrofitting it for the rest of us. B-type personalities? I don't know. Basically, if you would rather be on a side quest all the time or just make art without the pressure of hustle culture, then you have 100% come to the right place, and I hope you stick around. If that sounds like this is a place you'd like to hang out, then please consider clicking that like and subscribe button, and welcome to the chaos. Like I said, we are in a series where I am practicing sharing my Sidequester strategy guide because I have kept this to myself for years and years. So I am practicing sharing it with people that I think would really appreciate it. And we are officially past the halfway point. Let's do a quick review of where we've been. If you want to skip forward, the chapters are below and you can do just that. In phase 1, we were in our brainstorming phase. Remember, we got rid of filtering. This was all about quantity over quality and learning to take the limits off your brainstorming to stop filtering your ideas too soon. And then we moved into phase 2, which is our catalog phase. This is where we allow all of those crazy ideas a chance to walk around and exist. We learned about valuing your ideas enough to capture them all in some way, whatever that looks like. It can be whatever system you want it, but capturing all of your ideas so they don't get lost in the ether. Then we moved to phase 3, which was our store phase. And we talked about how do we actually decide what ideas we are going to take action on. We moved through the buckets of no idea, now idea, and not now idea. And we ran through 4 different filters to help us figure out what is the idea or the ideas we are going to actually start moving forward on. Today we are going to be moving into phase 4, which is our prep phase, and it is all about setting ourselves up to actually fulfill the ideas that we decide to take action on. Now I want to make a quick note here. Just remember, fulfilling our ideas is not the same as finishing all of the time. So I'm really big on idea management. That is the practice of refining your raw ideas into a place of fulfillment and follow through. We are about fulfillment and follow through, not necessarily finishing. Sometimes you start on an idea and you don't actually make it to the finish line of what you thought you would make it to. But the whole point is you need to give it enough time to give it a shot. And that is what today is all about. The main problem we're trying to overcome at this point is, how do I actually come up with a plan that I am going to stick to? This is where that 7 layers deep practice and that CCC assessment, the calculate your current capacity assessment, is really going to come in handy. We're also going to take that one or multiple now ideas and start crafting a vision for where you want to be. I'm going to pull some inspiration for this vision casting from a coach that I found online. Her name's Maya, I believe I said that right. And the way in which she sets up vision casting specifically for life, and I'll add some of these slides here and tag her and everything so you can go and check her out. I really liked how she set up that practice of casting a vision for your life. We are being a little bit more focused and specifically casting a vision for this particular idea, but I think the concept applies, and you can certainly take this on a more macro level because I think it's a great practice in general. There is almost always a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. The distance between those 2 points is where you actually do the thing. This is where you're actually saying, I'm going to put into practice these things so that I can get to this place. I think it's really, really important at this stage to identify where you're at, where you want to go, but also what do you want the journey between those 2 points to look like. Maya suggests that you do this on a blank piece of paper or a notebook. You can certainly do that. I also have the clarity quest below if you'd like to use that and kind of keep that all in one place with the rest of your Sidequester strategy guide pages. Either way, this practice can be done however you would like. But I want on one side to have a box or either just a side for your starting. Where are you now? And then on the other side, we're going to have where you want to go. So you have this amazing idea or set of ideas that you filter down to, I'm going to take action on these. Now you need to get honest with yourself and see where are you now in relation to those ideas or that idea. Where are you? Are you close to achieving it? Are you far away? What are some limiting mindsets that you are currently facing that are going to produce maybe some resistance down the road? And we will talk about resistance in the next phase, but I think that's something to keep in mind. What are the things that are currently holding you back? Where are you at now? Be honest. Be honest about what are your routines? What are your rhythms? Where are you at current capacity wise? If you haven't done that assessment, this is another great time to do a calculate your current capacity. Where are you at? What is your mental load like? What is the health in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, in your faith? What are the different areas of your life that really maybe need some help? And you can also recognize the places in your life that are doing really great. Like, hey, I've really created a lot of space here. I've created a lot of margin. I've created a lot of rest. I have a really great work-life balance. I think it's really important that you figure out where are you actually at now. This is not for you to bash on yourself. It's simply for you to be honest about where am I really starting. I think this is really important. This is why I created this particular phase before we start moving into like actually hardcore goal setting, because I think getting a vision for where you want to go, a vision for how you want the journey to look is more important than the actual setting of goals. Yes, we do need to have a list of tasks. We do need to do some actual things to get where we want to go. We need to have goals. We need to have some maybe deadlines, some framework around our intentions, right? That's very, very important. However, the thing that is going to help you get from point A to point B is being very clear about where you want to go in the first place and the motivations and intentions behind that journey that you are taking. Feel free to pause this video right now if you are doing this in live time. Feel free to push pause and take a moment to really, or more than a moment, a few moments to really sit with those questions. Where are you at now? The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Once you have finished that portion, I want you to move over to where do you want to go? what is the ending vision? And I want you to think about that ending vision in the present tense. This is something that I've actually adopted, like I said, from Maya, and I think it's actually really helpful. Instead of saying, I would like to do this, I want you to start visualizing what that ending vision, what pursuing that idea to the fullest extent of fulfillment and follow through. What does that feel like? What does that look like? What does your life look like? What does your morning look like? What do your routines? What is the outcome of the outpouring of your creative energy into that project? I want you to really sit with that and think about, what is that ending vision? Because before we set numbers and metrics around your goals, I think it's really important you know how you want to feel, what you want your life to be like, what you want it to be when you get there. Again, I think it's really, really helpful, and I really like this addition that Maya challenged to think about that in the present. Talk about it as if it's in the present. So for me, I am leading international creative retreats that really help people connect with each other, with their art, with their faith. That's an ending vision for one of my ideas. It's not a now idea. I'm just throwing out an idea right now. I want you to think about that. If you need to pause again and take more time, take a few moments, do that. Once you've done that, now you can kind of look between the two. There should be some difference. Unless you are just killing it, then by all means, more power to you. But I certainly, when I'm looking at where I'm at now versus where I want to be, there's some work. There's some growth. I have some work to do. Not everything has come to fruition in the way that I would like it to come to fruition. Once you have those two, I'd like you to consider, and this is something I rarely see when people are doing vision boards or vision casting or setting goals in any way, is I want you to consider, what do you want the journey from point A to point B to look like? What do you want your journey from your starting place to your ending place, your ending vision? What do you want that to look like? Because just as important as it is for you to get a very clear vision and direction of where you want to go and where you want to end up, I think it's just important that you sit with and decide how you want to get there. Because for me, I used to try to move from my point A to point B. I wanted to get there as fast as possible. Now that I've had a little bit more time and have matured a little bit, I recognize that how I get there for me is just as important as when I get there. How I get there is just important as when I get there. So I would rather get there a little slower if that means that I am able to enjoy my life now on the journey to my big dreams and my goals. That didn't used to be the case for me, but the journey, how I decide to show up in order to get to that place, for me, is just as important as actually reaching there, potentially more important. Some questions to consider when sitting with, how do you want to get there? How do you want to feel along the way? What pace would you like to move at? How would you like to cross the finish line? How much is rest and including margin going to be important for you along the journey? What are some ideas that precede others? What are some ideas that you need to figure out before taking steps on the next one? What are the ideas that have the higher priorities for you? Are there any particular ideas within maybe a set of ideas that are going to hinder another if they're in the wrong order? How prepared would you like to be before starting on this journey? Those are just some questions to consider in figuring out, how do I want to move from where I'm at now to crossing that finish line, whether that is an actual finish line or just getting to a place of fulfillment. How do I want to feel as I'm moving toward that particular goal? I love the prep phase in the Sidequester strategy guide because honestly, it's a step that I used to skip in the past. And now that I take a lot more intentional time to do some vision casting, both in my life, but also specifically for a particular project or an idea, I have seen a lot more consistency. I've seen a lot more follow through. I've seen a lot more just joy within my creative process. I think this step is really helpful, and I hope it will be helpful for you because you want to create a vision for your life. You want to create a vision for this idea, for your creative process that feels like coming home, that feels like a nice warm hug. You don't want to create something that feels so unattainable and so much so that you have to like shrink into it and squash yourself into these really, really tight, rigid systems. You want to find something that's flexible, that's going to help you keep forward momentum in the long run rather than just destroying who you are, destroying your unique process in order to get from point A to B as fast as possible. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? How do you want to show up for yourself and for other people along the way? Those are the important questions. I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you took the time to pause and do a little bit of this reflection. If not, I would encourage you to do that now or take some time maybe in the next coming days while this is still fresh. Otherwise, I will see you in the next phase where we will start getting down to business to defeat the Huns. But we will start getting down to business and doing some more hardcore goal setting. But we are going to find a path to your productivity in a way that works for you without the hustle. So I hope this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if this is something you've done in the past, if this is something you're going to do now, if you're going to try it. I would love to know. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to say, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye, friend.